Good day everyone, we are the Group 3 and we will be discussing the annotation of Antonio Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. For the contents of our discussion, we have the introduction, main discussion, analysis and significance, and the conclusion.
Good day, this is Ayla May Reyes, and for the introduction, the Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, or Events in the Philippine Islands, was written by Antonio de Morga, a Spanish lawyer, soldier, and colonial official in the Philippines. It was published in 1609 in Mexico. The first English translation was published in 1868 in London, and another English translation was published in 1907 in Cleveland by Blair and Robertson. The purpose of the book is to narrate the events and conditions of the Philippines during the early years of Spanish colonization, which is in late 16th century, written from a Spanish colonial perspective.
I'm King Florence de la Cruz. Who was Antonio Morga? First, Antonio Morga served as Lieutenant Governor of the Philippines around 1595 to 1596. He was directly involved in governing the colony, so his writing was based on real experiences. Second, he was born in Seville, Spain in 1559, coming from an important Spanish city. He grew up during the time when Spain was expanding its colonies, including the Philippines. Third, he trained as a lawyer and became a respected jurist. His background helped him write careful later, almost like presenting evidence in court. Fourth, he lived in the Philippines for several years that gave him first-hand knowledge about the people, culture, and Spanish rule here. Lastly, he is recognized in the Philippines history because of his book, Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. Even Rizal studied and annotated it to show the condition of Filipinos during the Spanish colonial period.
And for the annotation of Antonio de Morga's Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, it was written by Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, a Filipino nationalist, writer, and polymath active at the end of the Spanish colonial period in the Philippines. It started in London, was completed and published in Paris in 1890. The purpose of the annotation is to highlight the rich culture, civilization, and achievement of pre-colonial Filipinos, as well as to correct Spanish colonial narrative of the Philippine history, Filipinos being primitive or uncivilized before colonization. The significance of the annotation is that it was one of Rizal's nationalist works, along with his novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. Also, it encouraged Filipinos to take pride in their heritage and question the colonial mentality. And lastly, it is considered as one of the earliest works of Philippine historiography from a Filipino perspective.
I am Johnny Hill S. Macdang, and I will be discussing the events in the parts of main discussion. The first one I will be tackling is the Rizal's historical method using Morga as base text. Rizal carefully chose Morga's successes because it was rare, non-friar, and relatively objective compared to miracle-filled church histories. Rizal wanted Filipinos to see history through a Spaniard's eyes, but then he added his own notes to correct the mistakes. This way, Filipinos could talk back to colonial narratives using the colonizers' own records. Isa sa mga example kung bakit pinili ni Rizal si Morga ay dahil na-acknowledge ni Morga na tayo ay nakikipagkalakalan na at meron tayo mga skill kagaya ng agriculture bago pa tayo masakop ng mga Espanyol. Susunod dito ay ang two types of annotations, facts and criticisms. Rizal's notes often fell into two categories: factual clarifications like dates, plants, or tools, and critics of his Spanish bias, especially Friar's exaggeration. Pinapakita neto na si Rizal ay hindi lamang isang historian na nagdagdag ng data sa gawa ni Morga, but also a nationalist na lumalaban para sa unfair portrayals of Filipinos. Isa sa mga example ng factual ay ang pangbanggit ni Morga sa ating coconut tree as one of the important plant for us Filipinos. And-emphasize dito ni Rizal na importante ito sa atin sapagkat ito'y food, drink, oil, wine or tuba, at suka, at ginagawa ring pangtayo ng isang tahanan. Sa example naman ng critics, nabanggit ni Morga na tayong mga Pilipino ay uncivilized. Kinorek ito ni Rizal sa pamamagitan ng pagsabi na we are already civilized at we already have an organized system bago pa sila dumating ng mga Espanyol. Susunod dito ay preservation of Filipino culture like food, clothing, traditions. Rizal defended pre-colonial culture, for example, correcting Morga's remark on bagoong o fermented fish paste and describing it with pride. By doing this, pinapakita ni Rizal na ang tradisyon natin ay hindi pa-backward but part of a rich culture. He basically said, don't be ashamed of our ways, they are valid and valuable. Pinoint niya dito na ang mga hindi man nagustuhan ng mga Espanyol ang bagoong ay it was enjoyed by us Filipinos, kagaya ng pag-enjoy ng mga Europeans sa fermented cheese nila, which as both are acquired tastes. The next one is printing challenges and banning of the book. Rizal struggled to find a publisher and ended up printing the book in Paris in 1889. Later, like his novels, it was banned in the Philippines and many copies were destroyed. Natakot ang mga Spanish government sa librong ito sapagkat pwedeng manggising ito sa mga Pilipino. Pinapakita sa pagban na ito kung gaano kadelikado at makapangyarihan ang kaalaman at awareness sa history para sa kanilang mga mananakop. Kagaya ng Noli Me Tangere at El Filibusterismo, the Morga annotations were seized and burned, making it rare to find copies even 1 year after publication. Musunod naman dito ang the past, present, future plan of Rizal's writing. Rizal saw his work as a trilogy, Morga annotations as past, Noli Me Tangere as present, and El Filibusterismo as future. He believed na sa pagbabago ng future, Filipinos had to understand their glorious past and the painful present. This made the Morga an important part of his nationalist project. In his preface, Rizal said, I have the obligation to awaken your consciousness of our past. This shows he deliberately placed the Morga in the past slot to complete his vision. The last one I will be tackling is national identity through history. Rizal's annotations aimed to correct the falsified and slandered history written by Spaniards. By reclaiming the narrative, binigyan niya ng rason ang mga Filipinos to feel proud and to see themselves as one of the people with a shared history. This helped in the rise of nationalism. Karamihan sa mga Spaniards ay sinasabing tayo mga Pilipino ay tamad, uncivilized at dependent on colonizers. However, kinounter ito ni Rizal by showing evidence of advanced boat building, metallurgy, and organized governance before Spain arrived.
I'm Kylarine Candelaria, and this is the continuation of events in our main discussions. Pre-Hispanic Filipino life. The civilization in the Philippines before Spaniards came is already diverse. It is centered on self-governing communities. Filipinos had sophisticated economies based on agriculture with advanced farming techniques for cultivating crops like rice, and then engaged in hunting, gathering, fishing, and maritime culture. Trade was conducted through a barter system using gold as a medium of exchange. Minimal clothing made from local materials are worn and are classified into 3 social classes. They practice animism, a religious belief for nature spirits and ancestors. Built homes from light and natural materials like bamboo and nipa. Sophisticated systems of crafts like writing, weaving, pottery, mining, and boat making were developed. They also had writing systems and were known for the literacy, including the baybayin and various indigenous forms of oral literature like epics, riddles, proverbs, and folk songs. Pre-Hispanic Filipinos had extensive trade networks with other nations, including Southeast Asian nations, and these interactions led to a rich cultural exchange of goods, technologies, and ideas, influencing the development of early Philippine societies. Challenging Spanish narratives. Morga describes the food of Indios as rice crushed in wooden pillars and is called morisqueta when cooked. Cooked fish, pork, venison, mountain buffaloes or carabaos, beef, and fish, which is best served when it is rotten and stinks. To Rizal, the fish that Morga mentions that cannot be good until it begins to rot is what we call bagoong, a salted and fermented fish paste used as a sauce in Filipino cuisine. Spaniards or any other nation treat food which is unknown to them with disgust. Nationalist Manifesto. Rizal's primary goal was to present evidence of a sophisticated and vibrant pre-Hispanic Philippine civilization to reclaim pre-colonial history. He sought to debunk the bias and often negative accounts of Spanish historians, particularly religious chroniclers who depicted indigenous Filipinos as uncivilized to justify colonization. He shifted the perspective by annotating Marga's work, which is a Spanish account, to stand as a Filipino viewpoint. The act of writing history from a Filipino perspective was a crucial step in developing a sense of national identity and pride among Filipinos to foster national consciousness. Rizal's extensive use of primary sources at the British Museum demonstrated his commitment to establishing a more accurate and indigenous account of Philippine history. Spanish colonial life and Spanish governance. Rizal emphasized that the Philippines before Spaniards came had advanced agricultural and industrial practices and a rich culture and civilization, and it was not fully understood by Spanish colonizers. His annotations describe the immediate destruction and long-term underdevelopment caused by Spanish colonization, which highlights the immense wealth that Spain extracted from the island. Rizal exposed the corruption and nature of Spanish governance, with frequent changes in leadership and governors who enriched themselves through exploitation and bribery. Rizal pointed out that significant power and wealth accumulated by the Spanish friars, who also oppressed religious and educational freedom within the colony. The polo system, a form of forced labor, was another abusive practice under Spanish rule that Rizal's annotation would likely have addressed. So as what we can see here, the first image shows the social class back then before Spaniards came. The second image shows the era of Spanish colonialism in the Philippines.
I am Shane Ricometa and I'll be discussing the contribution. So merong scholarly and historical. First, Rizal produced the first Filipino-centered history. Instead of relying on biased prior chronicles, he used Antonio de Morga, a secular official, to highlight the Indio point of view. Second, he worked to recover pre-Hispanic civilization. Through his annotation, Rizal emphasizes our achievements in literacy using baybayin, metallurgy, through Panday Pira, advanced shipbuilding, and active trade networks with neighboring countries. And finally, he even dropped an outline of Philippine history covering pre-Hispanic society, Spanish colonization, and linguistic studies, which became one of the earliest systematic attempts at Philippine historiography. And as you can see in the visuals, baybayin script, canons, and the balangay, Rizal wanted to show that Filipinos had their own culture and technology even before the Spain.
Hello everyone, my name is Kirsten Bernabe and this is the continuation of Rizal's contribution. In this part, we will be focusing on his nationalist and propaganda contribution. Let's start with history as propaganda against Spain. Dito, ginamit ni Rizal yung history as a weapon laban sa mga pang-aabuso ng mga Kastila. Dahil imbis na paunlarin ng Pilipinas, inabuso at sinira ito ng mga mananakop. Tinawag ni Rizal na pious lies yung mga kwento ng mga praile. Next is yung restored Filipino pride in pre-colonial civilization. Dito naman ipinakita ni Rizal kung ano ang Pilipinas bago pa man dumating ang mga Kastila. In-emphasize din niya na may sarili na tayong industry, culture at system of writing noon pa man. Binigyang diin ni Rizal is yung metallurgy, yung mga gawa sa metal. Halimbawa is yung si Panday Pira na taga Pampanga na gumawa ng kanyon. Ito ay patunay na marunong na tayong mag-metalworks kahit wala pa yung mga Kastila. And shipbuilding, paggawa ng bangka at barko. Trade with China at iba pang mga bansa. And system of writing. Next is yung refuted racist Spanish narratives. May mga Spanish historians noon na sinasabi na ang mga Indio ay primitive at uncivilized. Pero nireject iyon ni Rizal. Gumamit siya ng mga lay accounts tulad ng isinulat ni Morga para ipakita ang tunay na kasaysayan mula sa pananaw ng Pilipino, hindi ng Kastila. Kinontra din niya yung mga miracle stories ng mga praile na madalas exaggerated. Kagaya na lang yung kwento na si St. Francis daw ay lumitaw na may hawak na espada na apoy para ipagtanggol ang Intramuros laban sa mga Chino noong 1603. Pinatunayan ni Rizal na walang basihan iyon. And lastly is his legacy. Inspired nationalist historiography. Rizal's laid foundation of Philippine national history, shifting the perspective from colonizer to colonized. Siya ang gumawa ng first history from a Filipino perspective. He shaped how later generations viewed the past as a glorious pre-colonial civilization ruined by Spain. Kaya hanggang ngayon, sa mga textbook natin, makikita natin ang mga kwento tulad ng pagsunog ng mga praile sa mga sulat at libro ng mga katutubo. In conclusion, it is clear that Rizal used history not only as a record of the past, but also as a weapon against colonialism and inspiration for nationalism.
Hello, my name is Kyla Imayari and these are the significant details. So what led Jose Rizal to Morga's work? First, Rizal was an earnest seeker. Alam naman natin na si Rizal is mapaghanap siya ng katotohanan and siya mismo yung naghahanap ng mga information, siya mismo yung nag-research about dito. For example na lang is itong kay Morga. Meron siyang mga part dito na binigyan niya ng opinion niya and may mga part na hindi siya sumang-ayon and this marked him as a historian. And also, he had a desire to know what exactly the condition of the Philippines when the Spaniards came ashore to the island. So, part ito na pag-o-observe niya sa buhay ng tao and most specifically is part ito ng pag-o-observe niya sa buhay ng mga kababayan niya. His theory was that the country was economically self-sufficient and prosperous. So, ang theory kasi ni Rizal is naniniwala siya na nung wala pa daw dito yung mga Spaniards is mas mayaman na tayo and entertain the idea that we have a lively and vigorous community. So he believed the conquest of the Spaniards contributed in part of the decline of the Philippines' rich traditions and culture. So ito kabaligtaran naman to ng mga sinasabi ng mga Spaniards kasi sa mga book na pinapublish nila ang mga nilalaman nun is kung hindi daw dahil sa kanila is hindi magiging mayaman yung Pilipinas, kung hindi dahil sa kanila is hindi magkakaroon ng government ng Pilipinas, which is contrary sa sinasabi ni Rizal na simulan dumating yung mga Spaniards is mas lalong naging pumangit at naging paurong yung sistema ng bansang Pilipinas. So, devoting 4 months of research and writing and almost a year to get his manuscript published in January 1890. So, dito nilaban talaga ni Rizal na kailangan yung pag-annotate niya is may ambag. And by the end of September 1889, lumipat siya sa may Paris dahil mas mura yung pag-print dito compared to London. And nagbigay siya ng letter kay Blumentritt, which is later on makikilala nyo, which requesting him to write an introduction to the book. So next is, how did Jose Rizal know about Morga's work? So si Rizal, nakita niya yung book ni Morga sa British Museum sa London, and actually yung libro ni Morga is limited lang yung copy. So masasabi natin na napakasipag ni Rizal dahil ang ginawa niya is kinopya niya yung 351 pages, and that time wala pang mga Xerox or photocopy. So ang nangyari is sulat kamay ang ginawa niya dito and annotated every chapter of it. And it was the first historical work on the Philippines by a Filipino, and it is the first history written from the point of view of the colonized and not the colonizer. So historical to kasi noong mga time na to, si Rizal pa lang yung unang nakagawa ng historical na pag-annotate.
I am Hayden Gaspe and I will further discuss the significant details. So basically, Rizal focused on chapter 8 of Morga's book, since yung first 7 chapters, halos political events lang, at mga gobernador na namuno dito sa Pilipinas. Pero yung chapter 8, it was very different. It described the culture, customs, and everyday life of Filipinos before colonization. Para kay Rizal, ito yung pinaka-valuable kasi it proved na may sariling sibilisasyon na tayo at kultura bago dumating ang mga Kastila. We had our own writing, metallurgy, shipbuilding, and trade with other countries. Kaya sabi nga ni Rizal, hindi tayo dinatnan ng Spain na barbaric, kundi may sarili na tayong identity. Now, why did Rizal choose Marca over other Spanish writers? According to Rizal, may 5 reasons. Una, sobrang rare ng libro. In fact, sabi nga ni Ferdinand Blumentritt sa introduction, that the book is so rare that the full libraries that have a copy guard it with the same care as they would an Inca treasure. Pangalawa, ito lang yung civil history ng Philippines noon, kasi halos lahat ng iba gawa ng mga praile. Pangatlo, Rizal considered Morgas more objective, more trustworthy, hindi tulad ng mga religious writers na puno ng tales of miracles at kwentong may halong bias. Pang-apat, Morga was more sympathetic to the Indios, kumpara sa ibang Kastila na sobrang mapanlait. At pang-5, si Morga ay eyewitness mismo at participant sa mga events, so mas reliable yung perspective niya. Lastly, I want to highlight the role of Ferdinand Blumentritt, a friend of Rizal. Siya yung nagsulat ng prologue sa annotated edition ni Rizal. Kaya nung nasa Paris si Rizal, November 19, 1889, sumulat si Rizal para pasalamatan siya. It was Ferdinand Blumentritt who said that Rizal's work gave an imperishable value. Ibig sabihin, sobrang halaga. Kasi for the first time, may boses ang mga Pilipino sa pagsusulat ng ating kasaysayan. Hindi lang laging mula sa perspective ng mga Kastila.
Good day everyone, I am Kate Andalo Santos and I will be discussing the analysis and significance. For analysis, historical method. Rizal's choice of Morgas was strategic. It was secular, less biased than prior accounts, and provided a reliable base text. Through annotations, he both preserved factual details and injected critical commentaries. Mas pinili ni Rizal si Morga kasi mas objective yung libro niya. Kumpara sa mga pari na puno ng mga hindi naman makatotohanan or mga milagro lang, pero hindi siya dun nag-stop sa pagpili lang. Naglagay siya ng mga annotations niya para idagdag yung mga mali or pag-correct niya dun sa libro na ginawa ni Morga. Challenge to colonial power. By correcting Morga's claims, Rizal exposed the Spaniards' attempt to erase or distort pre-Hispanic achievements. This was subtle but powerful act of resistance. Ang pag-react ni Rizal sa mga maling sinabi ni Morga ay isang form ng resistance. Pinakita niya na hindi totoo na walang sibilisasyon ang Pilipino bago dumating ang Kastila. Nationalist Manifesto. His annotations were not just scholarly, they were political. By providing that Filipinos had their own civilization before Spain, Rizal armed his countrymen with pride and intellectual tools to resist colonial mentality. Hindi lang siya academic work, political statement din siya. Gusto ipakita ni Rizal na may sariling identity ang Pilipinas at hindi tayo dapat umasa sa Espanya para sa development. Impact on Filipino consciousness. The banning of the book in the Philippines shows how threatening it was to the colonial government. It proved the potential of history as a weapon for liberation. Naban yung libro sa Pilipinas kasi nakita ng Spanish government na sobrang delikado ito. Kapag nalaman ng mga Pilipino ang totoong kasaysayan nila, mas lalo silang lalaban at magkakaroon ng national pride. Continuity of Rizal's vision. Seen as part of trilogy. Rizal used history as the foundation of national awakening, connecting the past to the struggle of his present and the hope for a liberated future. Naging malaking part yon ng plano ni Rizal, yung annotation ni Morga para sa past. Yung sa No Limitang Here, yung sa past, and then yung sa No Limitang Here para sa present, El Filibusterismo, yung sa future. Parang connected siya. Parang planado yung pag-annotate niya doon sa libro ni Morga. Then, parang related na rin yung sa Noli, then connected na yun sa Elfili. Parang past yung kay Morga, present yung sa Noli, and then future yung para sa Elfili. Pinakita niya na mahalaga ang connection ng history sa kasalukuyan at sa magiging kinabukasan ng bayan. For significance, first, a Filipino perspective in history. Rizal's annotation of Morga's successors transformed the text into the earliest form of Philippine historiography told through the lens of the colonized. Si Rizal ang unang nagsulat ng history ng Pilipinas mula sa mata ng Pilipino mismo, hindi ng Kastila. Ito ang pinakauna at tunay na history writing na galing sa colonized, hindi sa colonizer. Cultural pride and national identity. By defending Filipino traditions, food, clothing, governance, customs, and etc., Rizal encouraged Filipinos to see their past as proof of civilization, not backwardness. Pinakita ni Rizal na bago pa dumating ang Kastila, may sarili na tayong kultura, tradisyon, at sibilisasyon. Kaya dapat ipagmalaki natin ang heritage natin at hindi isipin na primitive tayo noon. Correction of colonial narratives. Rizal exposed Spanish biases and presented a counter-narrative that questioned the legitimacy of colonial rule. Kinorek ni Rizal yung maling pananaw ng mga Kastila, lalo na yung paninira na uncivilized ang mga Pilipino. Pinakita niya na bias talaga yung colonial version of history. Nationalist tool. Alongside Noli and Elfili, his annotations become part of his larger plan to awaken patriotism. Yun nga yung sinabi ko kanina na parang connected na yung dalawang libro niya na yun sa annotations dito kay Marga. Intellectual legacy. The work remains a foundation for later historians and scholars in reclaiming Filipino history.
Hi, my name is Angela Biablea, and my part of my discussion is about analysis of significance and impact of Rizal life. Slide 23. So, hero taught knowledge. Hindi siya gumagamit ng mga armas, kundi kaalaman at sulat para ipakita ang katotohanan tungkol sa mapang-abuso ng mga Kastila. And the next is exposing injustice. Sa kanyang mga nobela na Noli Me Tangere at El Filibusterismo, inilarawan niya ang mga mali, mapang-abusong gawain ng mga fair soft officials. And the next is cultural pride. Pinatunayan niya na may sariling kultura at kakayahan ang mga Pilipino bago pa man dumating ang mga Kastila. The next is edukasyon as power. Naniniwala si Rizal na ang edukasyon at kaalaman ang susi para sa pagbabago at kalayaan. And the next is inspiration and sacrifice. Ang kanyang tapang sa harap ng kamatayan ay nagbibigay inspirasyon sa iba para ipagpatuloy ang laban para sa kalayaan. And the last one is enduring legacy. Hanggang ngayon, inaalala siya tuwing Rizal Day at tinuturo sa mga paaralan bilang simbolo ng tapang, talino at mga kabayan natin. Thank you.
I'm Kian Pagaduan and I'm here to report analysis and significance, impact of Rizal on Philippine history. Jose Rizal made a huge impact on Philippine history because he showed that the true fight for freedom was not only through weapons but also through knowledge and writing. In his novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, he exposed the abuses, corruption, and injustices of the Spaniards, which awakened the nationalism of Filipinos and encouraged them to fight for their rights. Rizal also proved through his studies and annotations of Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas that Filipinos already had a rich culture, skills, and achievements even before colonization. He strongly believed that education is the key to progress and liberation, inspiring the youth to study, love their country, and become good citizens. His martyrdom in 1896, when he bravely faced execution in Bagong Bayan, became a turning point that gave courage to revolutionary leaders like Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Aguinaldo to continue the fight for independence. He is honored every year on Rizal Day, remembered through monuments and studied in school as a model of intelligence, patriotism, and selfless love for the country. His life teaches us that real change begins with awareness, education, and unity. Rizal's story continues to inspire Filipinos, especially the youth, to uphold the values of courage, wisdom, and national pride. Rizal life reminds us the fight for freedom is not only about resisting oppression, but also about building a nation founded on truth, justice, and compassion. His dream was not just political independence, but a society where Filipinos value education, respect one another, and work together for progress. That vision makes him not only a hero of the past, but a guide for our present and future.
And for the summary, Jose Rizal, the Philippine national hero, undertook a significant but often overlooked scholarly task by annotating and republishing Antonio de Morga's 1609 historical work, Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, or Events in the Philippine Islands. This book was originally written by Morga, a Spanish official and eyewitness to early Spanish colonial history in the Philippines. Rizal's goal was to correct the biased colonial narrative and highlight the rich history and civilization of the Filipino people before Spanish colonization. Rizal chose Morga's account because it was a rare, secular, and relatively objective history compared to other religious chronicles, filled with supernatural tales and colonial propaganda. He believed Morga was sympathetic to some extent to the native Filipinos referred to as Indios, and found his work a valuable foundation for reclaiming Filipino identity. In his annotations, Rizal challenged the negative stereotypes and distortions spread by Spanish friars and historians. He emphasized that the pre-Hispanic Filipinos had a flourishing civilization with advanced metallurgy, shipbuilding, trade relations, and a writing system. Rizal argued the Spanish colonization brought about a loss of the culture and autonomy, leaving Filipinos worse off than before. However, Rizal's historical reconstruction was both patriotic and propagandistic, blending scholarly research with a strong desire to awaken national pride and consciousness. Later scholars have critiqued some of his claims as exaggerated, but many of his central ideas remain influential in Filipino historiography. Rizal's work on Morga was also a pioneering effort to write Philippine history from the Filipinos' perspective rather than the colonizers, marking a crucial step in the development of the Philippine national identity. Despite the book's limited readership at the time due to linguistic and political barriers, its significance lies in challenging colonial narratives and inspiring future generations to understand and appreciate their roots.
I am Ana Micaela L. Cruz, and today I will be discussing the summary. Rizal first came across Morga's book while he was in London at the British Museum. What's remarkable is that he had copied all 361 pages before adding his own thoughts. He chose this work because it was unique and more subjective than the prior written histories. Unlike most religious accounts, Morga's version was a civil history written by an actual government official who was an eyewitness to events. Rizal focused especially on Chapter 8, which described the life and culture of Filipinos before Spain. For him, this was the most valuable part because it allows him to reconstruct our pre-Hispanic society. With the support of his friend Ferdinand Blumentritt, who wrote the introduction, Rizal finally published the annotated edition in 1890. Now, why is this important? Rizal wasn't just clarifying facts, he was correcting colonial lies. For example, when Morga criticized Filipino food like bagoong, Rizal defended it proudly. Through his notes, he highlighted that the Filipinos already had lost industry, tradition, and skills like shipbuilding long before colonization. In doing so, Rizal proved that we never uncivilized as the Spaniards claimed. This was more than the scholarship, it was form of resistance. By reclaiming our past, Rizal gave Filipinos a sense of pride and identity. The Spanish authorities even banned the book, which shows how powerful it was as a nationalist tool. Rizal also showed it as a part of his larger plan, the annotation for the past, No Limitang Here for the present, and El Filibusterismo for the future. Together, these works awakened Filipinos' consciousness and inspired the movement for independence. In conclusion, Rizal's annotation of Morga's work was not just a history, it was a message. It was reminded Filipinos that we already had a rich culture before Spain. It challenged false colonial narratives and it gives us the courage to stand proud as Filipino. This work shows us the history is not only about recording events but also shaping national identity and inspiring change.
I'm Cindy Ramos, so now let's proceed on the reflection part. Yung ginawa ni Jose Rizal na annotations ng Successos de las Filipinas ni Antonio Morga is nagpapakita kung gaano kahalaga na unawain natin yung history mula sa point of view ng mga Pilipino. Hindi lang basta naglagay siya ng notes, kundi itinama din niya yung mga maling impormasyon at ipinakita niya kung gaano nga ba kayaman ang Pilipinas bago pa man dumating ang mga Kastila. Dahil dito, mas nakikita natin na hindi dapat maliitin ang ating history o ang ating nakaraan, especially ang ating kultura. Ang history ay hindi lang simpleng listahan ng mga pangyayari sa nakaraan, kundi isang paraan din ito para mas makilala natin kung sino tayo at para mas mahalin natin yung ating bansa. Ang pag-aaral kasi sa part na ito is natuturo sa atin ng importance ng research, pagiging mapanuri, at tapang na ituwid ang mga maling pangyayari o maling mga paniniwala. Katulad nga ni Rizal na maingat at seryoso sa pagsusuri ng akda ni Morga, kailangan din natin ngayon ng ganitong attitude para mapanatili yung tamang version ng ating history. Dahil kapag malinaw sa atin ang ating pinagmulan, mas magiging buo ang pagkakaisa natin bilang mga Pilipino, mas tumataas ang ating pride sa ating mga kultura, at mas magkakaroon tayo ng lakas ng loob na mag-ambag para sa ikauunlad ng ating bansa.
Thank you everyone for listening. Again, we are the Group 3. Annotation of Antonio Morga Successos de las Islas Filipinas.